3, 2, 1. Today's podcast is presented by PODGO. PODGO is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from PODGO. We recently joined as a member, and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. Don't forget to add the 2-on-1 podcast in the How Did You Hear About PODGO section of your application. Now get ready for the rest of the episode.
Lads, we are back.
We are back.
Woo! We need more energy to start the show.
Oh, no.
Never had
Listen, I'm just doing it on purpose now.
Why?
Well, because last episode you said, oh, we need more energy. And then I tried giving more energy, but it was too late.
But then what if somebody clicks on, they're like, oh, 2-on-1 podcast,
that's
here
true,
we go.
that's true,
They
that's
just
true.
hear
Okay, you're right.
No, they'll
you're
go
right.
for this banter. So
You're absolutely right.
banter. To start off, guys, before we talk about the hockey, the thing that people are here for, the British man, Lewis Hamilton, he wins the Belgian Grand Prix.
What a
Can't be
surprise.
Convincing fashion.
I could have guessed that one.
Yeah. Man, it was Daniel, did you catch the race?
I did. I had it just a bit in the background before I had to head out, but I was looking at it for a bit.
You had it on while you were building your Lego Batman, right?
Yeah, while I was driving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were driving the Batmobile.
Yeah.
The Daniel signal was on in the back.
Oh.
Yeah, it only comes out in the daytime.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm getting a little bored of the same three guys on the podium every week. I won't lie. I'm still enjoying Formula One, but I'm getting a little annoyed of just being a rotating door of most of the time Lewis at first, and then you swap out Valtteri and Max. It's getting a little frustrating.
I thought you were going to say I'm tired of the same three guys on this podcast.
You want time to change it up.
No, I was not going to say that. Sorry, Daniel, you're cut.
No.
No.
I've been regulated back to
Back to part-time.
yeah.
Steve Simmons doing anything?
You're going to Pierre Gasly me.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't give you a vote of confidence and then throw you back. Hey, but he's had he was driver of the day today. He's had a really good year. Despite,
that's wrong.
There's been, he hasn't had, he's rebounded so well because he's had a really rough year, on and off the racing track. Because, of course, last week he got burglarized in his house in Normandy. Jesus. And more serious, I think we should take a second to mention this. In Spa last year, of course, the Formula 2 driver, Antoine Hubert, lost his life in just a freak accident. And, of course, now for Spa, it's celebrated as they race for Antoine. He was a very good friend of Pierre Gasly and I think Charles Leclerc as well, because they were all in Formula 2 together. I'm not sure if he was close with Esteban Ocon, but what a performance. Gasly, driver of the day. He did that one for Antoine. That was really nice to see, guys. Yeah. Unfortunately, as well, we should mention the passing of Chadwick Boseman. There are just some things you see and that you feel it. You feel it. And it was, I think, the announcement, the tweet that was put out about his death became the most liked tweet of all time, apparently.
Yeah.
I think the one before that was a Barack Obama one about unity. So it just shows, how much everyone loved this guy, guys.
It was crazy to see, because I got the notification. I just happened to open my phone, and the CBC News notification popped up, and I'm like I did a double take because it didn't seem. If you know what it felt like, the exact time back in January or February when Kobe died. It felt the exact same way.
Yeah, so he passed away from colon cancer. Apparently he had it since 2016, which then everyone starts thinking, Daniel, oh my God, he filmed all these movies while having it. And then he passes away at the age of 43. By the way, I did not think he was that. That's young, but I didn't even think he was in his 40s. The guy looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I was like, I don't know, that really shocked me. When I consider like who is like the the actors and actresses in their prime, like you think about Chadwick Boseman, about what he's been able to do the last 4 years with the amount of roles he's had, and like for me, like it's crazy. He like Jackie Robinson Day. That's the day he also died, where he played Jackie Robinson in 42. Like that was my introduction to Chadwick Boseman years ago when I watched that movie, and it's a weird alignment, but at the same time too, just it's still like pretty like tragic. I did not know how like the extent of his illness.
Mm-hmm.
I
I don't
didn't know
think
he was already
anyone
in stage 3. Yeah,
did. Mm-hmm.
he really
What
kept that like
you
under wraps.
I saw a tweet saying it was really nice that the estate of Chadwick Boseman, had the privacy because of this. You remember the stuff about TMZ with Kobe and
Mm-hmm.
that. But you mentioned there, Daniel, 42. Probably his most famous work was his Black Panther. But man, just a loved guy, a fantastic actor. Rest in peace, and best our condolences to the family of Chadwick Boseman. It was really nice to see at qualifying when he got pole position as well as when he won the race today that Lewis Hamilton did the Wakanda forever for Chadwick, and I think he dedicated his pole position to him as well, guys. Though I won't lie to you, I thought I was pretty scared to do the show today because we didn't have a lot. Because we did our emergency episode the other day talking about Black Lives Matter and the boycotting sports. And I was thinking, man, we're not going to have a lot for today. Luckily, Elliot Friedman and Chris Johnson came through for headlines yesterday. So a little later on, we're going to just do a whole deep dive in that entire segment. Thank you, you two. We love you so much.
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
We
Friends
did
of the
see
show.
them. We did see them.
Still working on the bingo card. Okay, so one of you put the NHL hashtag,
I did.
boycott NHL.
I did.
Alex, I put this into Twitter, and like the first things that came up were very much the normal reaction that some people have unfortunately been having about.
I just wanted to say one thing, so you guys can obviously go after me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the pro in this case scenario and making the sport more diverse, the pros so outweigh the cons. And I'm pretty sure I brought this up last episode. If not, I'm going to bring it up again. The NHL has lost a generation of fans, whether you like it or not. Did I bring this up last episode? Did I asked,
you didn't say that exactly, but you made the point of.
And I asked you guys. I asked you guys how many pure hockey fans you know. Did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like most of us didn't have many of them, if anything. And I think Daniel made the point that a lot of them are basketball fans. Like basketball was able to draw in the crowd that hockey failed to draw in. And by making it more diverse, listen, Canada and the U.S. over the years have become more multicultural, right? So by making the sport more diverse, you're bringing in the crowd, the new crowd, like our generation. So that's the pro. So more money. Let's think about it from the NHL's perspective, where all they care about is money, which, listen, that's what it is at the end of the day. The more fans you bring in, the more money you get, right? HRR ends up going up. Okay, what are the cons? You lose the 45-year-old fans.
The gatekeepers.
The guys who want hockey the old way and have they want no change. That's who you're losing. And listen, I'm not calling out the guys on TV like Burke and those guys, because if you listen to how Burke talks, he knows there's change. He's fine with some parts of change, but he still likes he likes aspects of the old game, which is okay. But when you're like, let's boycott the NHL. Okay, go. I think I put this tweet out. Go, man. Leave. because this isn't the first time people have done things like this. Like, I think I said this about the NBA. Like, they're empty threats. No one's going to take you seriously if you keep saying, I'm gonna boycott the NHL, and you don't do it. So do it. Don't watch the game. I don't care. They don't care. We don't care. They don't care. Okay? Go.
Daniel.
I agree with Alex. I think that, and this is completely based on like personal experience, but what I kind of felt is like that lack of accessibility when it comes to being an NHL fan. Like, I remember talking to a lot of friends where, they have the familiarity where it's like, I'll just pick up a basketball, or, and I'll be a fan, or the way that like things are kind of advertised towards them. Like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, the Raptors just seem so welcoming sometimes with their promotions, or how like, the language is kind of used in certain like promotions, in a lot of like, television spots that they have, like even when they like talk about like, our fans, this is the fans. I think for hockey, we kind of had a bit of a relaxed kind of approach to it, where it's like, this is Canada, so this is Canada's sport, but then you leave it there, saying, this is part of our national identity, but at the same time too, we're gonna just leave it there and not look at any efforts towards growing it anywhere else. And I think that that's a disservice to it, because that doesn't really represent what it means to be Canadian. Because what Alex said, like, maybe in that stereotypical thing, we have that 45-year-old or 45 plus fan saying like, I'm the hockey fan, but like, why can't we change that image as well?
Yeah. The guy with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
With the selfie. with the
straight
crunched
face,
up, with the crunched up.
The sun. Yeah.
Yeah. You talk about the Raptors. There's a tweet from Sid60 saying, Raptors 2020. Messiah and MLS exposed a racist security guard. Fred VanVleet and Norman Powell were some of the most influential public voices ahead of the boycott. Nick Nurse is trying to get Americans living in Canada to vote November 3rd. What a team. And I don't think there's been – it's weird. And this isn't like – I'm not making fun of Nick Nurse. But it's just – it's so weird as a hockey fan. And maybe this is in comparison to Alain Vigneault, which we can talk about because he did release a statement. But it was so weird to me to be like a coach supporting real change. This is so refreshing. He's a half decent person. It's it's a change you want to see. And like, I was looking up the boycott NHL hashtag just to see some of the stuff. And you see stuff like the NHL supports Black Lives Matter, looting and burning your communities. Hashtag boycott NHL. And I don't think I need to tell you what this person's username is because it has the president's in it. His name
it's not Jimmy 586015327918864.
No, but
sorry.
And then there's another one talking about how the NHL, and we made it very clear last episode. We didn't want to say how the Hockey Diversity Alliance are asking the NHL for changes. There's this headline that's like from the Post-Millennial saying NHL player group demands league pay $100 million.
Demands.
Stuff, right?
Capital D.
Yeah. No, they didn't capitalize it. But then somebody retweets this and says, what precious little porcelain dolls these allegedly grown men are. It's like these people don't seem to understand the message, and it's so frustrating.
I'll make it clear. I'll make it extremely clear for people. I'll make it extremely clear. Let's break this down. Let's look at it from an economic basis, because that's the easiest way to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
When the Major League Soccer, the MLS, is almost as popular as the NHL, that's an issue. The NHL is number one. The number one hockey league in the world. No question. I don't think any of us would debate that, correct?
No.
I don't think the MLS is top 10 in soccer leagues in the world.
their headline over the past few years is bringing Wayne Rooney in like way past the twilight of his career.
They
The
had
biggest,
David Beckham. I remember that.
the biggest news was it's a bloody big deal when they brought Jermaine Defoe to Toronto. That's what the big deal was.
I don't
Are
know who
you
that-
kidding me? Okay, like that. Just let that sink in. If you're listening, and like let that sink in. That
Mhm.
the MLS is almost as popular as the NHL in the United States. Okay, let that sink in.
I didn't even know that. That's
You guys
crazy
remember
fact.
when Toronto FC won their parade and how just kind of lackluster it really was?
Yeah, I went to it. It's pretty small. I'm not even a soccer fan.
And that is
That was fun.
all that needs to be said. All right, we'll focus some time on everything from Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada, sorry's headline segment last night. Friedman, Johnston, you'll love to see it. First off, what I want to ask you guys about is this. So while we're still on everything here, Dale Tallon, who was recently let go by the Florida Panthers, allegedly was making racist remarks while his team was in the bubble for the Panthers' very short stay in the bubble, I may add. And apparently some teams were consulting him or thinking about him for a consulting job, but that is obviously on hold, guys. And I guess nothing has been confirmed yet. It's all alleged. The NHL is doing an investigation on it. I believe the only thing we've really heard so far from Tallon is him saying, "I'm not a racist." But it's not a good look for another sort of
200 hockey men. Just say
kind
it.
of thing.
Yeah.
Just say
Yeah.
it. 200 hockey men.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
go
Daniel,
ahead.
go. Don't Daniel
Okay.
go.
It's just kind of like the whole thing was like you're letting the door hit you on the way out. I just kind of see it this way that you kind of have to just see like what's going on with that, like with this whole situation. Like we don't have the specifics now, but it's just another episode in the Dale Tallon saga in Florida that from like a fan perspective, like the things haven't gone well with like the trades, with the signings, and then now something like this kind of comes up, and now there's another investigation. What I kind of see with this now is it's gonna like I'm not even like gonna even base this on like the Twitter responses, but it's gonna be another thing like the Bill Peters thing, where like it's in the past, why can't you just let it go? And if that's the situation, I think it's another opportunity for the NHL to say, like, no, we're going to kind of step in, really have a thorough investigation, and, we're going to handle this the right way. And I think it's on them now.
Oh, absolutely. And if you want to use it's in the past, let it go, that's fine. But then he doesn't get another job in the NHL. It's that simple.
I don't even think we need to give attention to that because it's not in the past. It was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, not even. So, okay. If it's true, it's not good at all, obviously. I guess we have to wait and find out what what the results of the investigation. I think the bigger issue with what happened is his ignorance to the whole Matt Dumba thing. Did you read what he said in his statements? That he didn't know, he didn't hear his speech, he didn't know Matt Dumba he's half black, right, Daniel?
He's half Filipino, so he's half Asian.
Yeah.
And Tallon said, I didn't know that, and he's like, it was a whole...
let's go. Yeah, I'll pull up his thing.
Yeah, to do the full thing for context on that, yeah. And while you are, I want to ask you this, Daniel. Because, there were unfortunately, some more investigations this year. There was the Bill Peters stuff. And this wasn't a racial thing, but then there was also the very lengthy investigation of the Coyotes. And we talked about that a few episodes ago. Like, how much pressure and do you think, how diligent of an effort will the league do? How fast are they going to be on this specific matter, considering everything that has happened, not just the past few months, but the past few, week and two especially?
Okay, I think it's like a mix of two things where it's what Alex talked about with wanting to grow the game, and in its current state, the amount of problems that are kind of coming up right now, and the NHL is being kind of slow in the past, and right now with trying to figure things out, it's not a good look. It's really not a good look. From what I want them to do and what they should do, I think they should be more swift with things. But with that, I think that analogy of the passport I used the last episode, it's gonna be like that, where maybe something is gonna come out eventually, but it's gonna really lag behind, and it's something that you don't want to see.
Mm-hmm. Do you have it up now, Alex?
Sorry, I just got to. No, not yet.
Okay. Here's something else I want to ask you, Daniel. While we're filling time here, have you ever heard the Belgium national anthem? It is wonderful. I just want to point that out. Because we were talking about the Belgium Grand Prix, right? And we have national anthems beforehand.
It's a weird transition, by the way.
And I was like, wow, this is wicked. Yeah. Well, because the other stuff I have in the show is pure hockey, and I don't want to get into that yet.
Okay.
But man, what do you?
So here's what it says. Here's what it says. So sorry.
No problem. I was gonna say the Tallon podcast goes to Belgium 2021. No, but wait for another time for that.
Tallon. So this is from FloridaHockeyNow.com. Tallon said, if anything racial was said by him, quote, I don't recall it. I don't remember it. I don't ever use the word. They said I said something after Dumba's speech, and I don't even remember seeing Dumba's speech. I didn't know Dumba was black. I've only ever seen him as a hockey player. I did not know he was of color. That's all I can say. I need to find out what is going on.
Yeah, his mom is full Filipino, and he's not black.
I didn't know he was black when he's Asian.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just pure ignorance, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds almost identical to what Alain Vigneault said.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I didn't know what's going on. The NHL response to things. We didn't know what was going on. We were focusing on the game.
Yeah. Would we like to stop on the Vigneault stuff and talk about that for a second? Because he did respond.
Sure.
What did you guys make? Because it was instead to me more feeling like an apology and acknowledging I'm going to do better here. The first half of the whole statement was him almost explaining his work day. It's like giving an alibi to the police. It's like, well, this time to this time I was doing the morning prep and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to repeat something I said last episode. Elaine. This is more than goes back to more than just everything this past week. And this goes back to George Floyd stuff before the bubble came in. So I still don't get what he's quite just admit you messed up, dude. Stop. And then he didn't even take any questions, which is so gutless to me.
Listen, this is clearly it feels like PR went up to him and said, hey, you have to apologize. And that's what happened.
Yeah. It's like that you had to just give out the statement, but it's like you don't really mean it in a way, or it's just kind of you have to, the way you described how he just set his day in motion going, this is what I did. It was just kind of he sets himself in a place where I guess he assumes is I was here and this was going on. So, I clearly could not have known that was an issue.
It was legit. I cannot believe this, man. I can't, especially when you hear about how, Ryan Reeves was talking to Scott Oak last night. He's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we were trying to figure all this out, playing or not, asking these questions, talking about how we spent the hour in the early morning talking to Marc-Andre Fleury about stuff. And then, how all the Canucks and that reached out to him the next morning. And you think, man, Elaine, you are just dropping the ball here. Because, man, there is zero excuse. It is impossible for me to believe that you did not know about this, that you don't know what's going on. And even if you aren't, man, there's a responsibility for people that I think they need to stay informed of what's happening in the world. And I don't want to buy the whole I'm not political. It's more than that. It's just this is life, period. Dude, pick it up. You're an NHL coach. You're an influencer in a certain respect here.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Seriously? And I've already been kind of disappointed in the East compared to the West about that press conference. We saw all the Western teams, every player, and then the East was just kind of oh, hey, here are like our captains. And James Van Riemsdyk.
Like Kevin Shattenkirk.
Yeah.
And but at least like Shattenkirk reached out.
Yeah, he said something.
Anders Lee was like, yeah, great. Anders Lee's here.
John Tavares is a better captain.
Well, Anders Lee has actually led them to a playoff round win.
Okay.
John Tavares did that too. He did that against the Panthers? Yeah, the Panthers. But, I mean, won a playoff series in Toronto. You've all heard the jokes before.
No, I haven't.
I haven't.
Thank you.
Sorry. I yeah.
Right. Okay. So we'll move on to like some hockey news here.
Can I just bring something up quickly?
No.
There's 6 people in our document right now.
Oh no, that was me. I was opening tabs.
I just want to bring it up on the podcast.
There's an
Actually,
anonymous panda, an anonymous alligator.
Mike, is that you?
Mike?
Is that you, Harmondale?
Did we share it with him?
Did we? No, we didn't. We just talked about the Canucks, I think.
Could you imagine? If he put in, because I was putting, like, as I was watching headlines, I was putting the notes in, and, like, there was one part that for some reason is now highlighted in the Google Doc. The spelling was bad, because I was just trying to rush down some stuff about Frederik Andersen. While we're there, though, Frederik Andersen, we talked a bit about how the Leafs, and they're doing some moves. I think James Myrtle especially was talking about some players. Freddie was among them, but
wait, is that the guy who just steals quotes?
Is that James Myrtle?
I think so.
I mean,
so.
He was accused of it, yeah.
He doesn't even ask questions.
No, like he was using it at the practice.
Okay. So Elliot Friedman said, this is his understanding. Very carefully chosen words from Friedge. The Leafs, I'm going to paraphrase as best as possible here. The Leafs are not trading Frederik Andersen for the sake of it. Mm-hmm. And it looks like they will look at the free agent market for goalies, because this year I think is the best it's been for a while, and then make a decision from there. So what you can kind of assume is, I think probably the 2 biggest goalies available, I would say, are Braden Holtby and Robin Lehner, in my opinion.
No.
Markstrom.
Markstrom
market?
Is bigger. If he hits the open market, he's big. He should be bigger than Holtby.
Holtby won a cup.
Congratulations. Holtby's looked garbage since he has won a cup. Like, he has not looked good.
He hasn't been Braden Holtby since 2018.
The Capitals are bad.
Really?
Okay.
That's
the
hill you want to die on?
Do you remember that playoff run? It was Philip Grubauer who started.
Yeah, for 6 games, and Holtby probably. Do we want us back to talk about talk in the finals? I will talk about the talk.
Okay.
Anyway, the reason I don't bring up Markstrom is because I'm convinced the Canucks are going to try and re-sign.
Oh, okay.
Tyler Toffoli don't need you anymore. Jordy Ben either. Sorry, Jamie plays for Dallas. Anyway, so what you can kind of maybe see in this scenario is you see a team that's gone over, maybe they swing and a miss on Robin Lehner, they swing and a miss, Crawford, Holtby, if Markstrom is there, whatever, Thomas Greiss. Frederik Andersen makes $5 million. He'll have 1 year left on his deal by the time free agency comes around. You could get a pretty penny for a pretty good goaltender with a year left at a very affordable price, Alex.
Not if you have 2 goalies.
What do you mean?
If you go out in free agency and sign, you know you're going to sign Lehner or whoever, you lose some of the leverage, because you have $5 million in Andersen. Okay, and let's use Lehner as an example, because he's let's just use Lehner. Like, what size contract does Lehner get in terms of dollars?
6.5.
Okay, so you have
over 5 years. Like,
okay, so let's just use 6.5, because you have $5 million tied up with Andersen, and you have 6.5 tied up with Robin Lehner, and you're already spending $40 million on 4 forwards. So if you go out there and say, hey, we'll trade you Frederik Andersen, all the teams know you need to get rid of Frederik Andersen. All 30 NHL teams. Now, I'm not saying you lose all the leverage, because, like you said, Frederik Andersen's a good goalie. He's pretty much he doesn't need to prove, but if he has an off year, it really doesn't do him any good. So he's going to prove why he's going to make the big bucks next summer. But Toronto already has another goalie.
Campbell?
No, Robin Leonard. I'm saying if they go out and sign, have you not been listening to what I'm saying?
No, because the situation I'm putting here is if a team goes out and if let's say Carolina swings and miss, they don't get Leonard, they need a goalie. Then the Leafs can be like, if they need the decision, they can get all the assets in the world, can then go to Carolina
and get what goalie?
I don't think they're going to lose the leverage because Carolina need a goalie.
Absolutely not. Yeah, if they don't have another goalie, they have not lost the leverage. Soon as you get
you to talk about that, not like the Leafs. They're not going to lose leverage in the situation.
Okay, so what's the point of trading? Okay, you trade Freddie, then what? Nothing. You have Jack Campbell and nobody. Sorry, Joseph Wall did not have a good AHL year. I still don't know what Ian Scott is. I don't know what. I'm using World Junior to base my analysis on Joseph Wall. Great. Ian Scott was injured last year. Did not play I don't even think he played a game. So you're gonna have 1A, 1B. Like you're gonna go out and sign a Hudobin. You're gonna go out and sign who? To
this may
be with Jack Campbell.
Okay, this is my
because then then that just sounds like you're trading Freddie for the sake of it. If you don't have a backup plan, why am I trading Freddie?
Mm-hmm. Here's my backup plan. So this has happened before. This was a while ago. So this is when Marty Turco was on an expiring deal, same as. This was in 2009. Similar deal to Frederick Anderson for the cap. And the Stars realized we're not going to re-sign this guy anymore, but he might be pretty useful for a playoff run if we had two goalies. So, but they knew that they got his replacement already. So they got Kerry Lettinen from the Atlanta Thrashers when he was a bit younger.
Before groin injuries?
Yeah, before the groin injuries, when he was actually pretty solid. And it's a situation where I see the Leafs could be in, and I think of the Pittsburgh Penguins in a way because, like, I am such a huge fan of Tristan Jarry. I know that they want to keep him the Penguins, but at the same time, too, it's like a Luongo-Schneider situation where what can you actually move at this time? And if the Leafs could actually swing something for Jarry, which I know it's going to kind of cost them quite a bit, and I know that they're in a win-now situation. Like, I'm looking at, I don't know, figuring out how can you give Andreas Janssen and something to Pittsburgh for that. I don't know.
Tristan Jarry, I don't think they're even talking about moving Jarry. Everything I've read up until this point is Matt Murray's all but gone.
Yeah. Well, we heard that about Luongo, remember? I know, different contracts.
Yeah, but because Luongo contract, like he said, my contract sucks.
Yeah.
Right?
You also worry about, like, I think the one reason they may want to, get away from Murray, besides the obvious reason that Murray's not good, is that his qualifying offer apparently is like $6 million. And I'm pretty sure he does indeed have arbitration rights. So that is not, I think if you want Tristan Jarry, Daniel, I think that's going to cost you a lot. So, okay. Well, let's look at this because the Leafs are clearing space because they need to. They do need to address the space of who is going to be who is going to be that other right-handed guy to play with Morgan Riley, because you can't bring Ceci back. You can't do that, especially if he wants a raise.
Screw that guy if he wants a raise.
What do you do?
Honestly, screw that guy. Who's his agent? Who's his agent?
I mean, it makes sense for him to try. Because again,
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, you don't have anyone. I play top 4 minutes. Give me money.
I was like this is our Marincin thing. Like he doesn't sign for much, but for some reason he keeps coming back on 1-year deals.
Stop.
Anyway. And I think Dubas said himself that they want to have some flexibility going into the season because of course you want room.
Yeah.
Be able to make the.
Isn't it $2 million at the start of the season ends up being $10 million by the trade deadline because of some stupid math?
some shenanigans. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that room will translate to something throughout the year. Forget about escrow. I need someone to explain that stuff to me. But the problem is, guys, and I'm getting so sick of seeing this. You already have, everyone knows the 4-player, $40 million stuff, okay? Why in the world would you sign Pietrangelo, and then all that money would be gone? So now, not only have you shedded the salaries and lost the talent of Johnson and Kapanen, to bring in arguably the best defenseman in the league in Alex Pietrangelo, him or Hedman, I'll let you know. He has to leave the place where he's won a cup and played his entire career, that he's the captain of. He'll have to come here, and then all of a sudden, there is no more cap space for you to adjust your depth. And you need
it's not happening.
depth.
That's like a John Tavares situation all over again.
What do you mean?
Like, longtime captain, comes home.
Yeah, but
let's figure things out.
I think the difference, there's a couple differences in the situation. Yeah, number one, like there's an actual organization behind him, not what the New York Islanders were when John Tavares left.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, there was more cap space to move around with the Leafs. Right? Like that's just a fact. And number three, there was, even throughout the year, it just felt like there were inklings of guys saying, "Oh, he wants to come home. Oh, he wants to come and play for the Leafs." Whereas with Pietrangelo, and this is like the last thing on the list of reasons why he's not coming to Toronto. Like I think the cap space is obvious. Like this is such a, like, I understand why you brought it up. We can have this discussion every week if we really wanted to.
No, this is the one and done.
Right. Yeah. Like cap space is the obvious issue. But there's no like, oh, he wants to come home to, like, he's not going to take, if someone offers him more, he's not going to come to Toronto, take less to come to Toronto. Like there's just no sentiment there to play in Toronto, which is fine. Like I guarantee you there's a large group of players that don't want to come play in Toronto who were born in Toronto.
If everyone who is from the GTA wanted to come home, then most of the league would be a Leaf, because most of the damn sport produces athletes from Canada, especially Ontario.
Fun fact, when Eric Lindros didn't want to play for the Quebec Nordiques, his first request was to play for the Leafs, but they refused to trade with them.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And then that's why, like, later in his career, he signed with the Leafs for, like, barely anything, because, like, he just wanted the chance to play for them.
Hey, good for him. One of the greatest players to have your career shortened by injury. I don't like him, though, because, man, you would have won with Quebec, but don't mind me.
Well, it was the owner, so you can blame the owner of Quebec.
It was his parents.
Pardon?
It was his parents. Let's stop that.
He literally said it. Literally, there's interviews with him saying he did not want to play for that owner.
Oh, no, I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, so you're just choosing to ignore it.
Yeah.
That sounds like Twitter.
Yeah, well.
Ignore the facts. Ignore what he says.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Canceled.
Or being thingy-majiggered by. Man, I like the idea of having a national anthem played before a game. Like, it just gets me hyped up, like the players. But at this point,
that's the only good thing. That's the only good thing about it.
Shut up about it. I'm saying, man, just can it, or play Belgium because it's really catchy.
That's the only good thing about it. Gets you hyped up.
No, you know what? And it's like the Star Spangled Banner takes so long.
Okay, we're gonna go into this.
No, it does. It's a good song. Like, it's a good anthem. It's so long.
Yeah.
Would you play it on the radio though?
No. I would not play the Star Spangled Banner on the radio. Like, everyone tries to either just stretch it out and be grandiose, or they try and do a different take. Like Fergie at the NBA All-Star game. That was a joke.
Yeah, that was bad. Even the players do that.
They were like all looking at each other.
They were all laughing. What the hell is this?
Is it me, or does it feel like they put so much emphasis into the American one that, like, sometimes they don't even know how the Canadian one actually go? Like, I was listening to Colorado's, And that guy just doesn't know how the song, knows the lyrics, obviously, just doesn't know like the tempo, the way the song goes. And it's so annoying. Like, it's not hard. It's a national anthem. But
Does it make you feel patriotic when they don't look at the tone?
Oh yeah, because somehow wanting everyone to be treated right is disrespectful to your nation. Shut up.
Canceled.
Losers. Just, it's not hard. Just be good people. Treat everyone fairly. I don't get
No, but
why
there's no issue. There's no issue. There's clearly no issue, right?
yeah,
There's clearly no issue.
this sport is difficult. All right. We talked a little bit earlier about Dave Tallon and that. We talked about the Yotes recently. Both teams are looking for new general managers. Currently have Young Sullivan as their interim GM. Apparently, he will be getting a look in that search. But then the Panthers and the Yotes are also looking at the same people. Now, there were other names talked about, like Eddie Olchuk, Peter Chiarelli, but these are just the names that CJ and Elliott talked about.
There's actually one I want to talk about, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I just want to see Alex's reaction.
Okay.
I swear, if it's Peter Chiarelli, I'm
No.
gonna lose it.
You know who else is in this pool now, Alex?
Oh, I have a
John Ferguson Jr. Yes, he is being contacted for this
What
position.
a blow! Yeah. Okay.
Can we remember that guy? I don't know. Just for
Yeah,
a bit.
I do.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll just think about him for a bit. Like
No, how
they're
about we
willing
don't
to give
think
him
about it?
another general manager position.
What's he doing now? What is he
He's
possibly doing?
director
now?
of scouting or something with the
Is it?
Boston Bruins.
Well, he didn't do a good job scouting Tuukka Rask. That's or Justin Pogge apparently. So, director of scouting, my ass.
Can we talk about the team this segment's about, please?
Yeah. Well, Daniel brought it up.
Oh, like
That
he is
wasn't
one
me.
of the names considered for.
Anyway, but the names that Friedman and Johnson talked were obviously Armstrong, Weeks, which we've talked about, and another one which I'm surprised more people weren't talking about. That was obviously going to be a candidate, Mike Fuda, formerly of the LA Kings, lads.
Friend of the show. You know, the amount of times we've actually mentioned that guy.
Well, maybe he should just get a job as a GM. Maybe someone should do it.
Yeah, those losers. He's good at his job. I was going to ask you guys, who do you think the best hire is? But I think we can agree it's Fuda.
No, it's Peter Chiarelli.
Olchuk a name going around. What?
Well, this isn't the first time. Like, I think the first time that his name's has been brought up. I believe the New Jersey one. It brought up during New Jersey too.
Before we move forward, my source for the John Ferguson Jr. mention is Darren Hartwell at NBC Sports, Boston.
No, of course.
All right.
Of course.
Just, clarifying my attribution, my journalistic integrity.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, I think it's obvious the best choice there is Mike Fuda.
I hope so. I mean, like, I just don't know how you look at a broadcaster and you're like, yo, this guy, especially like Olchuk, he's been doing, like, I know Olchuk less as a player and more as the voice of the NHL games for a while.
I remember he was coach of the Penguins. That's how I remember him. That was like a while ago, by the way. That was when like Marc-Andre Fleury was like a 19-year-old starter.
Let's just look at Eddie Olchuk. And let's just look at his coaching numbers in Hockey DB because I bet he was a good player.
It was before Michel Therrien, I think, became coach of the Penguins.
He was coach for about a season and a little bit. And, yeah, he was replaced mid-season in 06. That might have been Therrien, yeah. And he missed the playoffs in 2003-2004 with a record of 23-47-8.
Weren't they bad, though?
Yeah, that was when I became a Penguins fan and I got Marc-Andre Fleury first overall.
They didn't even he was gone. And I'm assuming that's when he started NBC.
Should we talk about the big name for both teams?
Chiarelli?
Mm-hmm. I know they didn't bring it up last night, but we all know the league's pushing for Chiarelli to go to Arizona or get a job. And then here I have, according to the New York Post, that Peter Chiarelli is among the finalists in consideration for the Florida Panthers GM role.
Huberdeau would look fantastic on the Habs, wouldn't he? I think Ekblad would be a good Leaf. I think you'd do a solid deal with I was going to say David Clarkson, but that deal's finally done, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't wait if that happens.
Are
It's
they
gonna-
just trying? Sorry, go Adam. Sorry.
No. I was done. That would be great. I want it.
Are they trying to move a team? Like, is this what you want? Like Arizona and Florida barely get fans to go into the game to begin with. Did you want to make it worse?
He's gonna do, I think, the tinkering. I don't know. I think this is pretty funny we're bringing it up. I don't know how I stumbled upon this, but for some reason, like a few days ago, I was looking at the Griffin Reinhardt trade during the 2015 draft, and even then, I remember first seeing that. Even then, I was like, "What are they doing?"
Peter Chiarelli's time as a general manager, he was the man who nearly just kind of screwed up the Boston Bruins. And then he set the Oilers back a couple of years, but no, they never even got off the ground. No, not decade. They were bad forever. You just somehow made it worse when they had the best player in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Write a book.
I think like a lot of people look at the credit he gets for building the 2011 Bruins, but you have to also remember like how long ago that was, not in terms of years, but in terms of, I guess, era and approach the team was built. Like I was looking at that roster again, and like, you know, like people like, you know, Andrew Farron, Scott Thornton, they were still playing in like those crucial games for the Bruins.
They were in Game 7 overtime in the first round. Like that, they're gone. Don't even try. I hate when people are like that. No. I mean, like, give him credit because it ruined the Canucks for a good couple of years. And
the city for a bit, yeah.
That's very true. He caused millions of damage. That's really funny. That was a good one, Daniel. Last little thing from headlines is we'll know exactly what the situation is in regards to Calgary's head coaching job. Will Jeff Ward get the job? We'll know within the week from Elliot Friedman. Guys, would you go with Jeff Ward? Because I wouldn't.
No. There's other coaches out there that you can easily go get.
I think the one we haven't mentioned too much has been, it's still speculation now that Scott Mellenby has been interviewed for the position as well. I think like he's been a good hockey mind. I feel so old talking about it. I remember when he was a player and he was kind of like the quote unquote captain for the Atlanta Thrashers when they had a young Danny Heatley and a young Ilya Kovalchuk. And like I remember even then people were kind of praising him to be like, you know, this guy's gonna be a coach or he's gonna be in a position eventually.
I mean, yeah, he's been with Montreal for a little while now. I think he could be, but on the coaching side, maybe you can. I think he's been more talked about the GM role. I could be wrong there. How about each of you just give me a name you think that could work in Calgary? We're just going to throw Jeff Ward out the window for a second here because playing Milan Lucic after that game is ridiculous, the way he did. So I'm starting with you, Alex. Who's a name? And let's take out Gerard Gallant because it looks like he's going to Washington. And I think that's a really good.
Is that confirmed? That was.
Or he's extending his vacation. I don't know.
No, but it makes a lot of sense, and I think Gerard's like the East Coast, so I want to throw him out the window.
Laviolette.
Pete, I forgot about him. What does Pete Laviolette bring to that table, Alex?
A kick in the ass.
Daniel.
I was gonna say that. I don't know why. I keep thinking Dan Bilesma because of way the team is. I know it's the way the team is structured. Like he's kind of, there's a lot of like other than Milan Lucic, like the way the team is built is they have a lot of skill in that top six, and I think his system really, you know, goes with that. Like it worked with Pittsburgh. He tried it in Buffalo, but you know Buffalo was Buffalo. You could put anyone in there right now at this point, and I think it could work. Also because I was gonna say Peter Laviolette, but Alex took it, so I had to think on my feet. Okay, yeah,
fair enough.
We could just had the same name.
Yeah, that's true, but you know I wanted variety for the audience. I wanted an off the board pick there.
Yeah. Oh, that was very off the board. I didn't think Dan Posno was going to come up. I would go with Bruce Boudreau because
he's going to Toronto though.
No, he's not.
He can't find a head coaching job, which he will. Because think of it like this: the Flames are notoriously crap in the playoffs; they choke. Bruce Boudreau is notorious for choking in the playoffs. So you put that together, fireworks.
Well, you know what two negatives make? Positive.
Yeah, him and Johnny Gaudreau holding each other in a bunker after they choke again.
Just saying.
Johnny eating his ham and cheese. It's going to be Bruce's barbecue and a good steak.
What do you mean? Johnny Gaudreau's not going to be a Flame next year?
That's true.
I think you trade Monahan before Johnny. I don't think you can't trade Johnny.
I think you keep Monahan. I think he's more valuable as a center.
Keep the center, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Keep the younger guy.
But that deal, okay, we'll talk about that another day.
Okay.
What do we even have? I don't think we have much, to be honest with you. I think that's everything. Oh, no, we have to look at the playoffs. Crap. That is very true. We may have a new segment. I don't know if I'm going to bring it up yet. We'll look at every series quickly. We've only been going for an hour, too. See, it was
because no, we're quick. Like I remember, I was listening to Jeff Merrick, like his stuff this morning. You know, this guy packs in the information in like 23 minutes. So, like,
I know I'm not as good as him. I tried.
I know. I'm just saying that. I'm like, you know, sometimes we don't have to go 3 hours with Mike.
We don't. No. You know how many times like when he's going, I'll try and be like, and he's just like, holy son.
Yeah.
God damn it. Right. I keep forgetting the Coyotes were actually in these.
Oh, that's our bingo card. If you have it, you just mentioned Mike.
I really gotta work on that. It's just annoying to have.
Still waiting on it.
All right, it's free promos throughout the show when we bring it up. So
yeah, go check out Mike's stuff at the Eye Opener, and everyone else's. Daniel will be doing stuff as well, won't you?
I actually not sure at this point. I don't know if it get this like really midway through the show, but I might have to work at the Rysonian this year, part of their masthead. So I think like between now and like the next 3 weeks is the only time like I think for this semester I could publish for the Eye Opener. So I'm gonna try to have 1 or 2 articles out there.
All right, we'll keep the listeners open on that. Rysonian,
yes.
Isn't that like main competition?
It is, but you know, you got to graduate. You know, boys got to graduate. So I need to get that done with. Yes.
You got to negotiate with Will. Try and get yourself a good deal. I'll represent you. We need to get Will on the show. He should be on the bingo card. All right, looking at hockey though, we'll start in the Eastern Conference. Tampa Bay, like Halak hasn't been terrible, but that second Palat goal last night, that was not good. And as a result, including Nick Ritchie giving the stupidest hit in this playoff so far.
I like that guy.
Hey, a 5-minute major where they were able to.
Remember when we liked him on the Ducks? Remember when we liked him on the Ducks and
you
the
liked
World
him
Juniors,
on the Ducks.
and then the World Juniors.
And that, but anyway, because of that, Tampa Bay have a wicked win last night, and just like that, they're up 3-1 in this series, guys.
The good guys are winning.
What was really funny, I should mention, is the last time we talked about the series, and credit to Alex, he brought this up in the group chat. He's like, I thought he mentioned that these games have been really close, and then in Game 3, Tampa came out and won 7-1. Man, that what's the backup name for Bruins? It's like Vlader or something.
And he's like Norwegian.
Like his first decent shot against it was Braden Point undressing him. It was so bad, guys. But anyway, Bruins
from Czech Republic.
Oh, my apologies.
The best. Thomas Plekanec's his home country. Jaromir Jagr, never heard of you. But guys, I mean, it was probably somebody called something different back in his day. I don't know.
Against Slovakia.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think that was it.
That's insane. He's that old. So, guys, the Bruins are a game away from elimination. This is nuts. To quote the general from Stalingrad when the Germans asked him to surrender, you know what his response was?
What?
Nuts. I am not kidding. Look that up. Look Stalingrad nuts up. I'm not joking. But anyway, the Bruins. Thank God they're almost good. They're almost gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Alex, who wants to go first?
I think it's a hockey podcast. Like, are we allowed to say like we want the Bruins to lose? Like, I feel
yes.
Yes, I've said that.
Has Elliot Friedman come out and say anything like that? Has Dave Amber, good guy Dave Amber?
Yes, he secretly said it. He has secretly said it.
David Amber's just like, I want Canada to win, and that's why we love him.
He should be a friend of the show too. Like every time I watch him, like I feel happy. Like I feel like wholesome content.
I mean, he pretty much is a friend of the show, but we just haven't seen him yet. That's what makes you an official friend of the show.
Okay,
right?
That's true.
Speaking of, we'll go anti-Canada, and we'll go back to this series.
I guess I'll go first.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm just going to my fridge, like right there, to get a drink.
Alrighty. Listen, I think Boston, I don't know if you blame this on the goaltending. I really do think that their defense just hasn't been up to par. Like Chara does not look like he doesn't look like Zdeno Chara.
It looks like he's in his 40s.
He looks like he looks like his age has caught up to this man, and it didn't seem like that was supposed to happen considering that they had 4.5 months off. But it has. So that's an issue, right? It's like, what do you expect out of Anton Khudobin? Like, you can't expect Tuukka Rask levels of amazing.
You mean Yaroslav Halak?
Yaroslav Halak.
What did I say?
You said Anton Khudobin.
Yaroslav Halak. That's what I meant. Like, what can you expect out of Halak? Right? Like, I'd say league average goaltending or just above. Like, you can't expect Tuukka Rask level amazing.
I admit, I got caught up with his Halak's resurgence in a way that people were reminiscing about his 2010 run, saying, the boy's back.
That was sorry. What
but I completely understand. That was 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
What year is it?
2020.
2020. I know. Yes, he's 35, but 30 on the border of 36 right now, and the amount of time he's actually been playing, the shots he's been kind of facing, that was a dam that was I expected to collapse. That as much as the Bruins have been showing with a level of consistency, I think a lot of the spots in their lineup that have kind of battled injury, inconsistency, discipline, Nick Ritchie last night, that these things are gonna finally build up, that they're not gonna look like the competent team we expected the last few rounds.
It also doesn't help when you all of a sudden stop scoring goals. Only 2 goals for the Bruins in the last 2 games, and even when they lost game 2, 3 goals is fine. So,
Anders Bjork's not sticking, he's not standing out like we expected him to.
Is he on the 3rd or 4th line now?
Versatile guy, he goes everywhere. I don't know.
I mean, Pasternak, man, that guy could not bury one. Yeah, I can't tell you how many one-timers I saw from that guy that just either chest or just wide. There's just something off about the Bruins.
Is it just me, or does it seem like something he's not 100%?
Well, yeah. See, it's funny you bring that up, because remember, the Bruins are one of the teams, and we recently saw St. Louis said that 20% of the squad had COVID. The Bruins were very weird where Pasternak was just missing for a while. Kasha was as well. Yeah, I'm not saying it may or may not be related to COVID and stamina, but it could be an injury.
I don't know if it's with Pasternak, I don't think it's necessarily COVID related, because remember, he played game 1 against Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
He played game 1 against Carolina, and then after the goal, it looked like he had hurt his hand. He was holding, I think it was his right hand. It looked like he was holding, and then he never ended up playing. Mm-hmm. He missed 3 or 4 games, and then he came back, and it just doesn't seem like, it felt like something is off with David Pasternak, and I think that's an issue with Boston. Yes, they get scoring from all over, but this guy's your big scorer in terms of goals.
By the way, I'm looking at daily faceoffs. Anders Bjork is not here.
Right. He went from first line to the bench real quick.
He was literally invisible last night.
Man, he's getting it over Nick Ritchie, though. Let's talk about that hit. Boy, was that stupid. That was really dumb. Yeah. Very dangerous. Probably should have been, in my opinion, a suspension. Or at least player safety should have looked at it.
Adam, don't even suggest that. That's come on. They're not going to do anything about it. All 3 of us know they're not going to do anything about it. Why? Because they suck. The Department of Player Safety sucks.
By the way, that hit, not worthy of a game misconduct. Jesperi Kotkaniemi's wasn't
it? Wait, was it not game misconduct?
Oh, It was just the 5 minutes. It wasn't. He didn't get a misconduct.
Oh God.
We've talked about it before. Like, I think it's just that level of frustration was kind of boiling over. But in terms of like not the team approach, but the player approach, like, we all love Big Nick Ritchie. We all have for a while.
No,
but
Daniel, just you.
But that was a really stupid play. This guy's been in the league a while. It's a bit of an immaturity penalty to take.
Next, Philly Islanders. New York, they're winning this series, fellas.
Yeah.
Daniel, right now, me and you are winning in this series, by the way. But and to reminder everyone, all of us said Tampa would win the Bruins series. When it comes to this series, Alex, you did go with Philly, so I'll ask you, what do you make of their performance so far in this series? A bit of a collapse in Game 2. They managed to win overtime, though a loss again last night.
Well, I think the issue here is that the guys who you expect to step up their games just haven't been stepping up their games, and until that happens, it's going to be very tricky for them. And if that happens, I think if the guys step up, I think it's going to be a much more competitive series than we expected. Like, I don't think if the big boys step up that they dominate. Like, I think the Islanders are that good of a team defensively that they can still stop them.
Mm-hmm.
The goaltending's not the issue. I think it's plain and simple. Goaltending's not the issue. If the big boys step up, it's a much more competitive series for the Flyers.
Hold on. I have a really good view of Montreal from my city. And I'm looking, guys, and I can't see where Claude Giroux is. I think
the bubble's in Toronto. So.
I know, but still, like, you can see, like, past the city, the river, the forest, and some hills. Can we please,
can you see
everyone?
Toronto? Can you see Toronto from Montreal?
I can, but what I'm saying here, guys.
Can you see me waving? No.
We need to.
Oh, you just saw that run. Yeah.
What we need to do here, guys, is we need to get some milk cartons. We need to put Claude Giroux's face on the side of it because he still has not scored. Kevin Hayes has been really good, though, guys. What do you make of his play? Daniel, I'll ask you that.
Like, for how much he's being paid, he should be performing. For that contract he was kind of given,
Giroux or Hayes?
Hayes, like, he didn't even hit 50 points this past season. Yeah, I don't know. Something about Claude Giroux, like, these past few years, it's like there's no middle ground with him. It's like it's either he's like a trailblazer when the Flyers are winning, or just he's playing the minutes. It's just you don't really notice him too much on the ice. That he's a guy that can't really show that consistency like every time. I mean, this playoffs is kind of a testament to it. Like, we've talked about the Islanders and their defensive game, but if you're being paid and you're being known as, like, I guess, a quote unquote star, you should try to get around these systems.
Yeah. Daniel, you know how you said he should be putting up 50 points?
Yeah.
If I told you that Kevin Hayes has put up 50 points once in 7 years, would you believe me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, hey, he's probably been the Flyers MVP of it, or skater, to be Carter Hart.
He's a speedy power forward.
9 points in 12 games this year.
I mean, hey, you're talking
playoff games.
Mark Bergevin famously said there are the players that help you get to the playoffs and that help you win in the playoffs. And that contract is worth it if Kevin Hayes can help you win in the playoffs. This is the rest of the team.
Is he the Justin Williams?
Yeah. Well,
now.
Yeah. Williams is, exactly. Mr. Game 7, the poised 99 rating in NHL. I don't even think we need to talk about the Islanders because it's like, well, they're doing their game. They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
Matt Martin and Leo Komarov both scored last night, so that's always funny.
The thing is, Alex, I would believe you with the Kevin Hayes of the under the 50 points thing because, like, I don't know, just how the player he's been. But the thing is, when we look at his contract, like, it shouldn't be like that. It should be at least, I'll say 65 points this season.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Like a 28-goal year once in the Rangers. Anyway.
This Philly wanted at center.
Yeah. Well, hey, There are worse centermen out there. He's better than, like, even when he's healthy. Brian Little is not worth the money he makes.
No.
We'll go to the Western
Is
Conference.
Blake Wheeler a center? Are we so?
He plays it, but
Out of necessity.
yeah.
Is that little experiment still going on?
I never understood that winger experiment. I know that like people will do that out of necessity, but I remember it was like weird. Like Bobby Ryan played center on the Ducks because they didn't have a second line center. Well, they did, but I don't want to say the name because Adam's gonna get mad at me again.
Because it doesn't count. He's Koivu. No, it doesn't count.
Okay.
That's like saying Bobby Orr was a Blackhawk.
Or when the Blackhawks tried to use Patrick Kane as a center.
Oh,
I remember out of necessity. I remember there were rumors. This is a really random story, but I remember there were rumors that because he played it in university. So when they traded Luke Shen for James Van Riemsdyk, they're like he could probably play center with Kessel.
Luke Shen.
sounds exactly.
Oh, he played the last 2 games, and he's helping.
great.
He's helping the Lightning.
So apparently, these are the texts I've been receiving from Mike since Luke Shen has started playing.
He's
That
reemerged.
He's such a good player. And what did he say?
I don't know.
Something about him being a mobile defenseman. I'm like, Mike.
Okay, mobile.
leave it
I don't know,
alone.
Mike. I don't know.
Mike, leave it alone.
Did you guys see in that win last night? I think it was actually in like the afternoon or something. Eddie Olchuk gave Luke Shen the 3rd star of the game, and he didn't give one to Vasilevsky. And he's like, well, Luke Shen barely played 10 minutes in this game, but boy, he was good. Like, excuse me? What?
He's the human eraser. Remember, that was Pierre Maguire calling him that at 2008 draft.
An eraser?
The human eraser, because he was supposed to be the next Adam Foote.
We'll just move on from that. Okay, Western Conference, Colorado. They weather another comeback from the Dallas Stars in the wicked 3rd period, and they're on the board in this series. It's 2-1, Colorado. The good guys, they're winning. Excellent. Daniel.
Yeah, I don't know. This Dallas has actually put up a fight more than I thought they would. But I don't know. I think it's just because they're such a fun team. Like, you want the Avs to go the distance. I remember people were saying there's similarities between them and a young Blackhawks team. I personally see more of a young Penguins team in like 2008, 2009. You know, we don't know how far their reach is, but I think that if they don't at least go for it this year, I think, you know, they're still going to have that same momentum next year.
Mhm.
Dallas, you know, they get what they could. You know, they did what Calgary could not, and that is get the effort out of their star players.
Yeah, that's what has Dallas winning. They're actually scoring. What, Daniel, remember a few episodes ago, what was the one thing we said about Dallas that they didn't get during the regular season?
Their big money guys were not
Goals.
performing. Yeah, they weren't
And
scoring.
I've seen them score more 5-game goals this playoffs than I swear I've seen them score all year. And I think the thing that Colorado needs to tie it up tonight is they need the secondary and tertiary scoring. Because what they had in the first couple of rounds is they had the Donskoy scoring. They had Nichushkin scoring. They had Burakovsky scoring. And I don't think they're getting that scoring. And you look at Dallas where, man, like, listen, they're getting scoring from different guys, but they're getting more scoring than Colorado. And McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen can put up goals, but it doesn't seem like it's doing the job against Dallas right now. So once those second and third line guys step up and do the score like they were in the first round and in the round robin games, then we'll see what Colorado was before.
I have played 11 playoff games this year so far. I have 20 points in those 11 games. Who am I?
Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah.
Daddy Mac, baby. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. He's so good, guys.
He is good.
I want him on my team.
Is he the best player in the world right now?
Yeah, right now he is.
who's currently playing hockey. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't. I'm looking out the window again. I don't see Connor anywhere.
Okay.
Connor,
That's the game you want to play.
Leon.
Literally by the end of the first round, that's what it took to get him off the top 5 scoring.
What?
The end of the first official round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
He was still in the top 5. Him and Leon.
Be better. Wasn't good enough.
That's the game you want to play.
If he had some personality, they would have won. Didn't you know?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what's
But
weird?
too much personality.
We just have a bias
Okay.
because Nathan McKinnon convinced us to buy Tim Hortons hockey cards with his charm.
Actually, it was Sidney Crosby.
That was it, Crosby.
Really
Okay.
weird. Crosby doesn't convince me of anything except he has no personality. I didn't know this about McKinnon before because my camera's looking weird. Okay, or is that just me? I don't know.
New filter.
McKinnon, I don't have a filter on this Mac. He's actually, I didn't realize just how good he's been in the playoffs before. Of course, last year, 13 and 12 games. Previously, though, he had 10 points in 7 games in 13-14, 6 and 6 in 17-18. Daddy Mac, lads, pretty good. Because remember, it's only been in like the past 3 seasons that he's really broken out into, arguably the best player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he's always been that big game performer, and all that team needed was to get rid of the curse that is Matt Duchene. Our final series to talk about, though, it's happening, guys. It's happening. The Canucks are losing. The curse worked. Vancouver are losing, and man, Marc-Andre Fleury is just not going to touch this net. A wicked shutout for good old Robin Lehner last night, and just like that, it is 2-1 in this series for the Vegas Golden Knights. They are decent at the game of hockey, I'd say. Pacioretty, Stone, decent players. Robin Lehner, a good goalie. Doesn't have a sword in his back. Love to see it.
The deepest forward team in the West is doing good.
I think so.
Vegas?
Pretty solid wherever you look at them.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
No, in the West.
The West. Yeah, same with the West.
I don't know. Josh Archibald has something going for him in Edmonton, guys.
Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
Ennis.
That's fair. That's even though Ryan Reeves is not a threat in my opinion, but we can have that argument another day.
I never said he was a threat.
I'm just saying.
I love that 4th line. I don't know. It's like I'd pick that over the Islanders' 4th line.
Matt Martin scored.
I know. But, Ryan Reeves gives more than a goal.
He looks in mirrors and says, like, "Oh, I'm a bad man." Like, great. Score a goal, I don't care.
William Carrier, he's so underrated.
He's great in fantasy. Yeah. Great in fantasy because he gets all those hits. Oh, my God. I need to I recorded a different spot today. Though, like, talking about the series itself, though, this feels like it could be so much worse if Markstrom wasn't here. And I mean, I think it was Pettersson drew, I think I saw Harman Dial tweet. He drew 3 penalties in the period last night. And last time I checked, it was 0 for 5 on the power play for the Canucks. I don't know if they got a 6th one, but a team with that weapons. And it looks like JT Miller may be hurt or something is wrong with him. It's not looking good for the Canucks. This may kind of be the series we thought that the Blues were going to have with them. It's a valiant effort, but they're not going to do anything here.
This is more of like the return of the Vancouver Canucks in a way that I think it's a lesson to be learned. I don't know. I think, this is assumption still. They were still able to get 1 game in, but I don't see them advancing.
No,
Call me out, if I am wrong, but the way Vegas has been playing and the way they've really built their team, like there's a good balance everywhere in terms of experience, skill, grit, like the good kind of grit. They don't have like just a bunch of bruisers everywhere. That's why I argued Ryan Reeves, he could at least skate, but I don't know. I like this Vegas team.
I think they have. Like I said, they have the deepest forward core in the West. I mean, the only team who had a more deep defense core, I'd argue right now, would have been St. Louis. Like,
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Who else? Who like? Okay, you can look at Vancouver, but no, like they have Quinn Hughes and Chris Tanev, and then
Before he comes to the Leafs.
No, listen, I just want to point this out. I have not brought up the Leafs like out of no context at all this episode. Daniel's done it like 3 times.
I know I have, because you guys called me a Ducks fan twice.
Because you are a Ducks fan.
Not today.
Not today. I am a Leafs fan today, guys.
Oh, okay. What was I saying? Daniel, caught me off guard.
I am sorry. You were talking about the deepest defensive core. And
yeah,
you were
like
saying what the Canucks
have.
have.
I just think they do. They have a deeper decor than most, and they have Robin Leonard. And worst case, they have Marc-Andre Fleury.
I don't think he's to brag about anymore.
No, I don't.
I think he is.
Okay, he's not to be bragged about, but I do think that it is a good backup plan. I know you're gonna pull up his numbers. I'm just saying he's a better backup plan than most other teams.
Like the Boston Bruins right now.
Then
the Boston Bruins right now.
Like in the West, would you rather have Fleury or Demko?
Fleury.
Demko.
No, he's just trying to piss off.
Fleury. He's young. Fleury's old now. And I don't want some pisshead who's
in the play. No, that's not what I'm. That's not the future. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying tomorrow, Leonard gets injured, and would you rather have Fleury or would you rather have Demko?
I seriously would rather Demko.
I'd have Marc-Andre Fleury.
Okay. Would you rather have Fleury or Anton Khudobin?
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Really? Khudobin's been wicked.
Okay. Would you rather have Fleury or would you rather have Pavel Francouz?
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Assuming he's their backup. That's how if we're considering.
Oh, if he was the backup? Well, that's tough because he was good in the regular season, but playoffs, he's been naff.
Okay, well, who's their – if Grubauer is injured, who's their backup? Michael Hutchinson? Did he even make it to their camp? I don't know who the Avalanche's backup is. So
Bebo
or Hutchinson, one of the two. Would you rather have Fleury or one of those two?
Oh, if we're going into third and yes, I agree. Marc-Andre Fleury is at the level of third or fourth goalie.
Okay, there we go. Great. Okay. Yeah, so that's why Vegas is going to win. I think they're the team that comes out of the West.
I think we'll debate that if a certain Colorado team get there. Daniel, though, Vancouver, they suck. Not really.
No, just they're showing their age. They're showing that they still have a few rough spots to smooth out, and they'll be okay. I don't know. I'm happy for them. Like they're a team on the rise. Like they're not gonna. Actually, no. Like in this aspect, they might be like the Blackhawks, where they have these rising stars, but then they eventually have to realize they have to pay everybody.
Except that's coming after. Sorry, that's coming before they actually win something. All right, I think that's going to be it, lads. Though I want to introduce an idea here. I talked a little bit about this with Alex. We do a nice little weekly segment here. Okay? I would like both of you to, on your computer, bring up capfriendly.com right now.
Okay.
Because there is a fun little tool, one of my favorite in the NHL. I love looking at this like when I'm bored or I'm waiting for a class to go. You're going to go to the tools section. I want you to click the button Armchair-GM. Okay, let me know when you've done that. This is going to be this is going to be a new segment. Those dear listeners, do you guys have Armchair-G up?
Yeah, I already clicked one.
Okay. Wait, so what do you do? Sorry, you go cap friendly.
Click on the one that says Leafs rumored to have interest in Nurse. The name.
Oh, that's not the one. That's not even the one I saw. But I'll click that one.
I want you guys to click Leafs rumored coming home. Right. All right. So you have that up.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who are unaware, Cap Friendly, of course, the site where you can see all like the cap details of teams, player contracts, all this kind of stuff. They even have some coach and GM info up. They have a section of the site called Armchair-GM where people can make their own sort of deals, with contracts and all that kind of stuff. And it is notorious for just completely BS trades that don't make sense. Like there's one here that's like, it's like, oh, hey there, Darno Nurse is going to be dealt from Edmonton to Toronto for a second and Andreas Janssen. Like that.
Oh yeah, I have this one.
That's just outrageous, right? So here's what I'm thinking we do from now on. Every week, each of us try and find one ridiculous armchair GM trade. And we try and bring it forth. Now, there are occasionally parody ones. We're going to leave those ones alone. But that's what I kind of want to look at. I can't wait to see Josh Manson's for, Janssens and seconds. I want to look at this. It doesn't have to be Leaf related. I love this stuff. I love it.
Can I share the one I found now?
Sure.
Okay. So this is how I know it's serious. Don't hate too much now. ... I hope the trade values are fair. And it's titled New Goalie, Petro Comes Home, Alex Pietrangelo. These are the trades. To the LA Kings, Martin Marincin for a 7th round pick. To the Boston Bruins, Justin Hall for a 3rd round pick. To Anaheim, Janssen and Engvall for Nicholas Deslauriers, Andrew Agozzino, and the 2020 first round pick that was Boston's. To San Jose, Kerfoot for Marcus Sorensen and a 2021 3rd round pick. Apparently, we're going to flip Nick Deslauriers to Montreal for a 4th round pick. And this is the big one. To Calgary, Frederick Anderson, the RFA rights to Evan Rodriguez and Frederick Gauthier for 2020 first and a 2021 2nd round pick. And with all that cap space, here's what you're going to do. You have 2 RFAs, Ilya Mikheyev, Travis Dermott, both getting 3 years, $1.5 million. I can already tell you right now, the Ilya Mikheyev deal, that's not even close. Then UFAs, Alex Pietrangelo, 4 years, $8 million. No. Braden Holtby, 3 years, $4.8 million. Absolutely not. Joe Thornton, 1 year, $900,000. That seems reasonable, I guess. Eric Gustafson, 2 years, $1.35 million. Are you drunk?
See, these are great. And just like that, you can also, when this happens, you can make lineup decisions, all that. It even shows the draft pick. So as a result, those are the kind of deals the Leafs make. And then all of a sudden they would come out with 3 first-rounders at that situation. So they're ridiculous. They're spontaneous. I love them. And they are just – the best part is there's also a comment section where you can make a cat-friendly account. You can do your own trades. Maybe if you're listening to this, right, how about this? You do that. You do your Armchair GM stuff, and you send it to us on our Twitters, our Instagrams. They're all in the link below. And we can look at it. We can make a thing out of this. I think it would be really fun, guys.
Oh, my God.
All right, so this has become before or after the bingo?
It's going to come somewhere.
Okay.
What's Adam?
It's on the list.
Adam gets
we can start doing this next week. I say we do it once a week, and I don't think it matters.
Sunday episodes.
Okay.
Let's just confirm it. Sunday episodes.
It'll be our fun segment.
Yeah.
And how about this? On Wednesdays, we bring back Read of the Week, and we just make it of the week and not by week.
Okay. That's fair. Before we end the episode, Daniel, Raps in what?
Raps in 6. I think it's going to go back to back, but then the Raptors reach their stride, and then they close out in 6.
Adam, Raps in what?
I'm going to say Boston in 7.
Okay. So
maybe that guy. Okay.
I don't know about basketball.
We get just Raptors win.
Kyle, I'm assuming, Daniel, Kyle Lowry is available. So
he
that's
is available.
A huge
– the boy is back.
Bigger
than Stamkos coming back.
I didn't even know the Lowry was hurt.
Yeah, he got injured. He hurt his thumb. Was it his thumb?
Was it thumb or wasn't his
ankle?
Leg? His ankle.
Ankle.
His sprain.
Ankle. I don't know why he thought thumb.
All right, guys. Well, that's it.
That is it.
You listening? Send us your Armchair GM trades. We would love to see it. Look at my pantry.
Wow. Very
All right.
nice.
Check out the show's Instagram page for a visual experience of the podcast.
It's
Look
like a
at my
vlog right
pantry.
It's like a vlog.
Yeah. Sup, bros? Smash the like button. In fact, when you're watching the podcast on YouTube, subscribe, smash the like button, leave a comment. Why not? What else? Voice Ad, a wicked platform for the show, as always. Check
We
out.
start school soon.
Yeah, we do. Sweet. What else? Check out the shows. Yeah, I said YouTube. Check out my YouTube channel. I think that's everything, right?
I think so.
All right.
We love you guys.
Do we?
Yeah.
Not if you're a Canucks fan.
Okay. See you.